can you pop popcorn on a CPU? Today, we're gonna find out. So first up, the goal is pretty simple for today. Pop popcorn without anything else but the CPU on the computer. Now, there's a couple challenges here. First off, the big challenge is, of course, that popcorn is, well, popcorn, and it takes a good bit of work to get it heated up. Second of all, this CPU starts thermal throttling right around 87 degrees Celsius, so that means that I'm going to have to keep this cooked for a bit. I've got some aluminum foil here to wrap it up in to hopefully make it cook faster. And then I've got a little bit of olive oil that we're also going to throw in there so that we have something to conduct the heat. Obviously, we'll put some thermal paste on there between our cooking apparatus and the CPU. So let's get started. Last episode, we did thermal paste with different substances, and I've got to clean this off. Oh yeah, and everyone's favorite dessert, thermal paste. Please don't eat thermal paste, that was a joke. So first up, what I want to do is I want to make a cup out of aluminum foil. So take a nice little slice and basically make a cup to hold our popcorn while it cooks. I just real quick want to thank my first grade art teacher for teaching me a valuable skill in my life, like knowing how to make a pinch pot, you know? Like out of everything I learned in school, in public education, I think the pinch pot is the only thing I think I've just realized that I actually have made use out of. Okay boys, we've got our cooking apparatus. Now this is designed to hopefully keep the heat in while, well, cooking our popcorn kernel. So first off, we're gonna put some thermal paste and then make sure that makes nice good contact, get a good seal on it. And then we're gonna go through and put some oil in this, open up our bag and put little popcorn kernels in it, and then hopefully we'll get it to pop after running like a couple stress tests or something. So first up, it's time for the thermal paste. And I think this is the weirdest thermal paste application I've done in a while. Obviously, we're going to eat this too. Hopefully it's actually edible. Actually, if it doesn't pop, I still got to eat it. Perfect thermal paste application, if I do say so myself. And then time for the goodies. Never mind, we gotta do a Verge application, guys. Verge got nothing on me, guys. I've got the best thermal paste application, hands down. But that thing is pretty good. It's in there pretty well. So next up, it's time to put a little olive oil in there, and I didn't think this through because I've got this very this is just a bad idea, guys. So normal people would have to explain to people why you would have a bunch of olive oil all over your motherboard, which I don't know if olive oil is conductive or not, but we might have to find out. This is just bad. I should have put this in first. There we go. So we've got olive oil in there. Let's put our popcorn kernels in now. I'm using microwave popcorn because that's all I had. I'm sure someone's going to be on the comments and be like, oh, if you use the stuff you could put in the fire, then you would be done quicker. And I'll be like, okay, probably. I'll probably eat this later too. I'm just going to use like a couple. Y'all, this popcorn does not, like, this looks really weird. Hopefully that melts down. We start up our stress test. So I guess now it's time to turn it on. We've got our fully soaked and ready CPU stuff. It looks pretty nasty. Like, I didn't know popcorn looked that weird. Like, that looks, it's got like all the butter and stuff in it. Yeah. Let's plug it in, ladies and gentlemen. Curious if it's gonna thermal throttle or not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't start your computer with the hammer, then you're clearly not cool. It looks like we might have frozen out already, and I think we might be thermal throttling. We can see. So let's. Oh yeah, it's definitely thermal throttling. Let's see, password. You can tell it's like melting down too because it's already like dropped down and melted. It's at 100% disk right now too. Can't say I'm surprised. Oh, it was up at 90 earlier. We're at 82 at the moment. Hey, we're better than the nut thermal paste. You guys should watch that video. That was a good video. So, you know it's interesting when the hard drive goes through and it's making a big old racket and then all of a sudden it's just quiet. It's definitely got some heat. I think we should probably cover it up too to keep the heat in there. So the very delicate challenge of making sure that your PC doesn't shut off while also making sure that it cooks your popcorn is going to be very difficult. Now, if you take a look, there are some companies that have been doing something kind of similar. They've been making, like, KFC has their KFC chicken oven, and that's cool and all. That's very nice. But the thing is, you're not really warming up your chicken unless, of course, you're gaming pretty hard. So it seems like that. I don't know how warm this is. Oh yes, this is doing a great job now. Let's get this as cooking as possible and just do this a couple times, and hopefully the CPU will pop some popcorn. I'm really hoping that after a while of hopefully cooking popcorn, we can actually get something edible. But I think the CPU is really struggling. You don't want to actually do this to your CPU because this actually degrades the silicon. People will make the comment, oh, overclocking is bad, and that is the case, but there is also a whole nother world of, you know, not cooling your CPU. If you don't cool your CPU, the rapid cooling and, you know, cooling down and cooling off and heating up and cooling down, all that stuff can actually really damage your CPU over a long period of time. So it can shorten the lifespan. Same thing for overclocking if you're not keeping things cool. So really, heat is one of the major enemies here, and we're doing everything, like, literally to break this CPU. This is probably shortening a couple weeks off the CPU's lifespan right here. So, currently we're just trying to get something edible because the pop and popcorn has not happened in a bit, so I've given it a bit of time. We had to hurry along the pop and the popcorn. I wonder if it's all right. You know, for everything aside, it actually smells decent because I think this is like a sugary blend of popcorn. This actually smells like... It smells good. It actually smells good. It's been like an hour of doing this video. Y'all should go down in the comments and let me know what else we should try that hopefully is edible. Because I think that this at least isn't. So I'm gonna go turn this off real quick, and let's try our lovely contraption here. So for your lovely delight of enjoyment, you're gonna watch me try to eat this, because I did make the promise that I'm going to eat whatever we cook today. Lovely thermal paste compound too. Let me get a little plate here. Oh, I got thermal paste on my finger. So, this is why you don't promise things before you see the end of the video. Because that is likely not edible. Give it a shot though. So to answer the question of today, can you pop popcorn on a CPU? Not on any modern CPU. Now, if you wanted to pop popcorn on a previous CPU, that actually might be possible, because basically the only reason why this isn't going up to bazillions of degrees is because, well, not bazillion, but why it isn't going up to huge amounts of degrees in order to pop popcorn, which I think is like 200 degrees Celsius, is because, quite simply, it has thermal limits and it is shutting off because it is overheating. If you wanted to actually pop popcorn, you need a CPU that had no thermal limit. And since there really isn't a way to turn that off, at least on this CPU, we're stuck with no popcorn and bits and pieces of corn kernel to stare at, and no popcorn. Very disappointingly. We're very close to 100K, so you should definitely subscribe while you're at it. I think it would, be a nice addition to your feed, and it's free, so it doesn't hurt. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.